As I speak to you right now, many cabals in Nigeria are having an emergency meeting. And what is the reason for that emergency meeting, you may ask? It is on what to do or what to say to make Nigeria remain one nation. Remain one nation, you may ask. I thought Nigeria is one nation. Well, the people who know more have said that looking at the things happening in Nigeria, they don't think Nigeria is supposed to be one nation. And so they are coming to do what they can do. And who are those people? I'm very sure that most of us must have seen this news that the US Congress is trying to propose to Donald Trump to come and break up Nigeria. And according to them, they said in any country that Islam and Christians are living together, that the Islams will always make sure they subjugate the Christians. And so they want to go and propose to Donald Trump to come and break Nigeria into two, Christian country and Muslim country. Because of this news, many cabals had gathered for an emergency meeting to do something quickly before it gets out of hand. Now, the first report we are getting is a report coming from some northern elders. Let me zoom it a bit so you can see it. Now, from this news, you can see we don't support Nigerians breakup. Unity, sacrosanct. Northern elders want Trump. So these people has gathered for an emergency meeting, as I said, and after all that deliberation, they say, no, we don't want Nigeria to break up. We want Nigeria to be one. In fact, they went ahead to say that the unity of Nigeria is sacrosanct. Let us understand this word, sacrosanct. What does it mean? I think sacrosanct came from a Latin word, sacrum. If you bring it down a bit, you can also get the word sacred from it, which means holy, which means beyond alteration, and which means not to be interfered. In other words, that the northern elders is saying that Nigerians' unity shouldn't be interfered with, that Nigerian unity is beyond alteration. Well, upon hearing this, the next question you may ask is, how did the unity of Nigeria came about that made it to become sacrosanct? How? I'm very sure that most of us will know this, that Nigerian unity began in 1914. Of course, I'm very sure that most of us will know it, the amalgamation of the Northern and Southern Protectorate. And who headed this is a man called Lord Lugard. So you are telling me, the Northern elders are telling me now, that what I did not agree to, what my fathers did not agree to, none of my relatives, none of my ancestors agreed to this. And then you are telling me that it is sacrosanct. It cannot be altered with. What I did not sign, I did not agree to this. You are telling me that you no fit interfere in this. Is that so? Now so what they do for Nigeria? Haba. Well, not only this, I'm going to play a video for you now. You see, sometimes you hear people say that Nigerians are just confused people. As much as you have seen these northern elders warning Trump that they don't want Nigeria to break up, there are still some saying that Nigeria must break up. And what is the reason they are giving? Because they said that since 1914, the amalgamation, that Nigeria did not start well. I'm going to play the video for you. I'm only the analytic guy, of course. Most of you will know that whatever I say here, I give you evidence. So what I'm saying, I'll give you the evidence. Some are saying, some northern elders. In fact, I'm going to play two videos for you. Please bear with me, stay with me, because this is the videos we watch and we learn. So that when you hear people tell you all this bullshit they are saying on the road, you will be able to, answer them rightly. I'm going to play two videos for you. One is a video made by a northern elite saying that from 1914, Nigeria has got it so wrong. The second video I'm going to play for you is a video that was made by a Southerner, a Yoruba man. What he said in that video, well, let me just allow you to listen to it. If this is your first time coming across my video, just do well to subscribe to this channel, because on this channel, I get information of everything that is happening in Nigeria. And of course, we also get information of things happening around the world. So please, just listen to this video. Then you do well to drop your comment in the comment section what you think. If this man has meant well for Nigeria, I don't think Nigeria will be where it is today. But because this man is just an ordinary trader, he bought, I don't want to go into details. Please listen to this video.
When you take the history of Nigeria, from the very beginning, when we were amalgamated, to the very beginning we became a nation, we got it all together wrong. You bring in people of different culture, different beliefs, different socialization, different milieu, different outlooks, merge them together by force to form a nation. Only the initial builders of Nigeria had a clear vision and a mission, devoid of any sentiment. Soon thereafter, it became clear that it was a wrong union. It was a union that was not properly negotiated. We could have remained a great country if we had isolated our own identities, peculiarities, culture, while contributing to build a nation just like America. But we ended up having people from one generation, one set of leaders to another, everybody coming with a vision and a mission, and destroying the previous ones he met, even if they are good, because they are put in place by an imaginary enemy. Secondly, we have a nation where we celebrate criminals. It is only in Nigeria that somebody will clearly steal and loot hugely from the public treasury, and then after some times you see him receiving national honors, you see him being given chieftaincy titles, you see him being called king, prince, or an emir. That is an indicator that we are yet to be there. We also have a complacent followership, a followership that is satisfied with collecting 500 naira to vote, 1,000 naira to vote, a bar of soap, a tin of milk. On that basis, he surrenders his franchise. It means we are not conscious of our civic duties and responsibilities as a nation. The majority of the common people that are complaining now are also contributing to the destruction of the country in collaboration with the colleagues of the elites. While the elites are losing the treasury, they are hailing them. Today, if a northerner were to be caught stealing 10 billion naira and he is taken to court, believe me honestly, you will see northern organizations, northern elites, some of them saying that he is being persecuted because he's a northerner, because he's a Muslim.
The prediction some years ago that Nigeria would become a failed state has actually come to pass. Some of the indices of a failed state are when non-state actors possess equal or stronger or more potent power than a legitimately constituted government, power of violence, instruments of coercion and violence, as we are saying now. And let us not always be saying Nigeria is indivisible, it is indissoluble. It's not a textbook definition. Indissolubility and indivisibility can only be brought about when you nurture unity, mutual respect, egalitarianism. It is already divided because every geopolitical zone is already going according to its own details. There is no cohesion. There is no leadership. Can't you see that Nigeria is hemorrhaging? Can't you see that we are bleeding? Can't you see that we are on a journey to no destination? Can't you see that the president should wake up from his self-imposed cocoon and hibernation and seize the reins of power and save Nigeria from what remains of ourselves, self-implosion, self-immolation? Can't you see that we are tottering, we are wobbly, we are groggy? Can't you see that we are falling apart? Can't you see that we needed, as yesterday, to do something urgent to save Nigeria from the precipice, from breaking up into smithereens. Can't you see that the house is collapsing, that the edifice is collapsing? Can't everybody see it? Even if you are blind, can't you feel it? Even if you are blind and you can't feel it, are you?
Nigeria as it is today structured is not working. But instead, our leadership wants us to continue to live a lie. What am I saying? Nigeria must be constitutionally restructured to function more effectively as a federation for two reasons. One, so that our country can be stable and peaceful. Two, so that our country's economy can prosper and we all prosper. What is wrong with that? But instead of confronting this truth and reality, they want to pretend that restructuring is breaking up Nigeria. Of course it is not. Restructuring Nigeria is to make Nigeria work. Constitutionally restructuring Nigeria is a huge issue. It involves a number of things. First of all, it involves what I call the national question. The national question must be addressed in any restructuring exercise. Which is, what is the basis of our identity as Nigerians? One. Two, do we want to live together even though we come from different nationalities or backgrounds? Those are the two questions.
What exactly are we restructuring? Are we meant to restructure our minds or to restructure, the political interests of some other people? Let me ask you, this restructuring, part of the essence of restructuring is to devolve power to the states and the local governments, right? Okay, let me ask you, how many state governors right now are allowing their local government chairmen to even, to function as a third tier of government?
Oh, that's a whole kettle of fish on its own. That's a whole conversation on its own.
You understand? So that is where restructuring should start. Restructuring should begin with all of us. And let me tell you, everybody will tell you devolve power. What power are you devolving? When on the concurrent list of government, where the state and the federal, they both have rights to legislate and all of that. You legislate on housing. How many of these state governors have provided housing for their people? Let every state governor come out and tell us how much they have invested in agriculture. Tell us how much they invested in education. These are issues on the concurrent list. They don't need any devolution of power. I just mentioned housing. I mentioned education. I mentioned health. I mentioned roads. So these are all and agriculture, 5 items. These are major issues that if they focus on, they will transform each state and local government without even going cap in hand to the federal government. So when you hear people speak about restructuring, they are bamboozling the people who don't, maybe the susceptible minds, the gullible ones, the vulnerable.
Identify 3 of the most pressing problem of Nigeria that we can contextualize into our conversation. What would you say, Prof, if you have the solution on your left hand to fix the problem? What would you identify as 3 major Nigerian problems?
The first one I will identify is lack of nationhood. Nigeria is a country still yearning for nationhood. What does that mean? What it means is that we are not united. We are still what Chief Obafemi Awolowo once called a piece of geographical expression. Ahmadu Bello once said it was a piece of historical mistake because we were cobbled together on 3rd January 2014 by Lord Lugard, the Southern and Northern Confederates and the Lagos colony, after Nigeria had been given her name by a young British author who wrote in the London Financial Times of 8th January 1897, calling it Nigeria, that Niger area. That is first major problem. In other words, we were cobbled together through the direct and indirect rule system that we were operating, with all of us already enjoying our independence. The Benin Empire, the Oyo Empire, the Kanem Bono Empire, the ancient Ife. We were already independent, having our own systems of government, and we were happy. Now, such people that were already used to their independence and ways of life, to put them together and say they cannot now discuss their future
Is it the reason for the agitation we see in Nigeria? This idea of lack of nationhood.
In fact, it is the beginning and the end of it. I can assure you that you were talking about 3 problems. I identified that one major problem. If you don't have nationhood and nobody believes in Nigeria as a country, if I ask you, so where are you from? You won't say I'm in Nigeria. You first quickly mention your village and then your state. Then you are filling a form. After asking you for your name, the next question is place of origin. You put it town, they say local government. You put it, they say state. You put it, then they say religion. You are already being typified. You are already being profiled to know whether what we want here can come to you or not come to you.
But how do we resolve this? Because either we like it, you are an Ozekome.
Yeah.
You have your origin.
Yes.
You are of the Edo origin.
Yes.
And if you want to drill down, you can tell who your forefathers are.
Yeah, yeah.
I am an Okimbalue, and I can also tell who my forefathers are.
Yeah.
But can we take away the fact that we are different tongues? Our tongue is different.
No.
And our presidents who have constituted conferences, at least 2 of the presidents have said, you can have every conversation, but the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. The former President Goodluck Jonathan said as much. In those kind of conversations, the fear of the disintegration and some people wanting to exit the nation might start to think.
Now I tell you, I am not saying every Nigerian should now be the same person. In fact, I've always argued, and everybody, I'm on record to say that of Professor Onigu Otite's 374 ethnic groups in Nigeria through demographic survey. He was a great sociologist that speak over 380 languages. Each of them must have a place and be respected in where he comes from. But when you want to roughing it over others, for example, like former President Buhari calling a whole ethnic group, one of the 3 largest ethnic groups, the Igbos, Southeast, as a dot in the cycle. What will you call me? A minority within a minority from Ijukwe, near Agenebode, Esako, East Local Government Area of Edo State. What are you going to call me? But in America, for example, they first ask you, what's your name? You tell them. They say, where are you from? We ask you, what do you mean? You mean where I work? Or where I schooled? Or where I live now? Or where I was born? Because each of them would have been different. But they regard themselves as Americans. So they have what we call faith in their country. We do not have faith in our country. How do we do that? That is why when you go around on a Sunday, tomorrow is Sunday, today is Sunday. If you are go around, you will see different town unions. Where will you see a Nigerian union holding a meeting? So it's like the Bible. It says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added. If we get it right constitutionally, because the present foundations are fundamentally damaged. They are damaged. I give you an example, Shion. If you have a house that the walls are cracking, how do you repair the walls? You don't go to the walls, you take a hammer, you begin to chisel it with a chisel, right? Then you get cement, mortar, you call it bricklayer. I say, help me patch this wall. He patches it. In 1 or 2 months' time, more chaos, more gullies, more cracks appear on the wall. You have to look for the cause of that wall. You discover that there's a big tree in your compound whose trees have sprouted. They have become so big that they have gone towards the foundation of the house. And it's what is actually threatening it to fall. What do you do to that tree? You don't go to the tree and cut off the branches, because the branches will grow anyway again, and the walls will continue to crack. You go to the tree, to the roots, uproot it.
Yeah, I'm happy you took this route when you talked about Nigeria and the Nigerian state. So for you, what are those factors you've identified as a reason why Nigeria is still in its crawling stage after how many years of independence?
There are some fundamental issues. Sometimes I think that principally the main issue is leadership. There is no doubt, fundamentally.
Yeah.
And because of our lack of quality leadership over the more than 6 decades since we achieved independence, political independence, because we know we are still under economic dependence. We've not really had that towering national figure that has demonstrated enough leadership skills and earned people's respect across all regions. We've not been lucky to have that. We've never been lucky to have a Mandela or Kagame, the Rwandan man. We've not had somebody in which most people have confidence in to move us forward. And I think that's a fundamental flaw. Some of our political leaders have had opportunities to fulfill that role, but I don't want to mention names, but I'm sure you can guess. But at the end of the day, they've disappointed us, and they've disappointed themselves too. Otherwise, we are a nation of big potentials, over 200 million people, we should be dictating whatever happens in Africa, politically, economically, even industrially, technologically. We are a nation that is being run on generators. 3,000 megawatts after 64 years. People always make an example. Despite the energy deficiencies of South Africa, for instance, they still have about 45 million people. They generate 45,000 megawatts. If we are a truly industrialized nation, we shouldn't be generating anything less than 200,000 megawatts. We cannot industrialize on generators. And these are the things that are giving us some level of regrets.
Hi, my people. Welcome back. Hi, okay. All of now we don't hear within Mike Ujekome talk concerning the problem with Bisoke in Nigeria the face. Though I get why Bisoke me and let that Mike Ujekome in be lawyer be in the come out they talk the thing where Bisoke they happen for this country exactly. Now so in the talk the way they talk now so in they for inside this country. And I know say this country where we did so now we dey whine ourselves say this country is a nation. Now we dey whine ourselves say this country is one. Now we dey whine ourselves say this country we are united. See this Michael Jekome, the first man we be saying talk. The only thing we be saying he give me joy concerning within the talk. He always dey where in the anytime we be say okay he dey talk about Nigeria. You know say okay Michael Jekome now from south man and he be bet. Anytime we say okay they come out they talk, it is stand for everybody they talk. If to say okay this country now happens to be hearing or be hearing most of these persons, so it's okay they come out they talk truth now. If to say this country happens to be supporting what is coming out from their mouth, this country for don't be better since because they don't see with this mic and this other man where they see on they see for my screen and they come out they talk about the issue if it's okay they for inside Nigeria. This country, the only thing we be okay go for help small. Now be that separation. It's not as if okay we are trying to tell you now say okay make them separate this country. Unity is the best bet. Any unity, any place will be okay. The way unity no one favor some part than some part. You think them go through. Maybe to just go the separate way. That is why you see all this Mike Ojekome and many other people will be so okay they talk. They clamor for division and many other things. Though it don't take we everybody they come out they talk all these things. See you can make this country make everybody go in own way. e get wetin the first man wey be say he talk wey be say he sweet me. He talk and say the constitution and the thing wey be say okay Nigeria dey face when they never name Nigeria na im be the one wey be say okay e dey help this country that time. Una know say okay any nation wey be say one language and one religion no dey, e go dey hard for that country to dey united. That is why you see all these people dey come and dey talk say na that old Nigeria na im better pass this new Nigeria wey be say we dey so, because everybody now dem dey focus on their own people, nobody know anybody. Na wetin dey happen for inside this country. You wey be say okay you dey hear us now, if you get anything wey be say okay you wan talk concerning this, make you drop your own thoughts for inside comment section. And also if na today be your first time, make you like, make you share and make you subscribe. Thank you.